and see all the different people in relationships and, who are married and stuff walking around, and they all look different and they're all different shapes and sizes. And you go, no, you have to have this very specific jawbone, and you have very specific cheekbones and very specific eye alignment and very specific skull size, or else you don't get laid. And it's like, this makes no sense, dude. Look around. The data disproves you if you just walk out your fucking door.
But this is where it gets dark. But this is, I wish I had like that little South Park like streamer when they did a Scientology episode, like this is what incels actually believe. So they look at these people. Basically, it's been, and I say this all the time as a joke, but it's very true, is incels would make the best salesmen because they have a word track that they constantly stick to. They have, an answer. They have a rebuttal to everything, and it's just practice, and it becomes mantra. And then it's just, it gets to a point where if you've dealt with one incel long enough, you go to another incel and talk to them, and they'll start saying the same exact things. And it's because it's literally drilled into these guys' heads on this website. You go onto their forum on incels.me, and you click on any black pill posts, and it's basically one incel who's kind of, high ranking or has been there a long time saying, you are worthless, you are nothing. Every woman looks at you and laughs, and you're going to die alone, so might as well die alone with us.
What the fuck? So this is really like abusive. Like, and I don't mean just toward women. I mean toward members. Like this, like apparently there's some kind of hierarchy, and they're abusive to each other.
Yes, very. And if you aren't, it's to the point where there's so much infighting in the incel community that a lot of things. They go from here's this concept, and as terrible and misogynistic and horrible as it is, and you'll have 5 people agree, 5 people say no, it's this way because you're this or you're that, and if you're this you can't be incel, but I'm this so I can be because of XYZ. You almost need like an Excel sheet to really see what qualifies as an incel to what users.
Doesn't this, like, the last guy sounded so nice. It was like, oh, let's all just kind of feel better about like not having, a relationship yet. And then this is like completely weird. But like, don't you feel like somebody watched like too many teen movies in the year 2000, and like they somehow internalized the tropes and stereotypes from like a fucking comedy movie?
It's basically what it is. You have these guys that they watch, TV shows that are meant to be social commentary. They watch a lot of porn. So they think that women are literally just like coccicidal maniacs. Like every single one of them. And if they're not, it's your fault because you aren't an alpha male. And
I've seen a lot of weak-faced little weenies in porn, just pointing out.
I don't usually look at the guy. I don't know.
If you're clicking around, you're opening videos, you're seeing some of the guys.
It was one time, and I don't like to.
And if you have to put yourself by proxy into their position, you're like, I don't look like that. I'm not 5'4" and 98 pounds.
He preaches
so
truth.
Do they really buy it? Like, do they really believe the stuff that they're like? I guess I don't know. Do any of them actually realize that like enjoying videos of women getting cut in half is like probably why they aren't like able to have a normal relationship with a woman?
That's got to be a real niche thing though, right? Like that can't be like really widespread in their community, can it?
Well, I'm actually on their website right now. Let me go ahead. I'm going to click on off topic. And we're going to see, it's always here.
I feel like I need to hold on or strap in or something.
It's getting dark. One sec here.
I have a lot to say, but I'm being very quiet.
Oh, sorry, Shannon. I'm done with my question. You go up next. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yes, Shannon is next.
Yeah, I'll let him search the site, but I have so much to say. So that is a sort of really deep depressive cathartic activity. That's attribution. So they're looking at women as the cause of their plight, and they are wishing bad things onto them because they see them as the point that is, or the external factor that they are helpless to control, that is causing a plight, that like they have no resolution, because the only resolution is up to another person and they have no control over those people. So this is an exercise in cathartic control. And if you are really, really deep and dark and you are well into it and you have some sort of other sort of sociopathic or psychopathic or deep depressive in some states or leanings that are fed by this, then that's a place that this can go if you are already in a place that feeds that type of behavior and encourages it. And that's why this stuff scares me, because if you're in a place that is feeding and encouraging this, it becomes a normalization. Like you're surrounded by other people who say it's okay. So any sort of inclination that you may have had but normally suppressed comes to the forefront. And if it comes to the forefront and it's validated in numerous times, and you're presented with opportunities to have cathartic activities that continue that validation, that is why this is fucking scary. It's scary. Like, why don't people get help? Like help. Like, oh God.
Well, there are those who do come out and say, I think I need to go see, but just quick kind of a side note, there's over 5 pages worth of gore with 255 posts that have about, on average, 5 to 6 videos a piece on them.
Whoa.
So, and that is since May of this year.
Can I ask you a question? What happens when somebody asks for help? What happens when somebody says, okay, my inclinations are scaring me. I'm having thoughts that I don't like this, and I feel scared about it. Where do I go for help? Like what advice would you guys have? What happens then?
It's one word, and it's going to sound disgusting and morbid, and I hate to be the one that's like the dark one on the show tonight.
I want the truth. Yeah,
but
the truth.
They literally will go rope, which means go hang yourself.
They tell them to commit suicide when they ask for help?
They will tell them to commit suicide.
I've seen that when I was looking for people to come on here. There are several posts throughout that thread, actually, on incels.me that either they're referring to it themselves, like it's about time I meet the rope, or there'll be people saying that to other people. So that is 100% true.
And that's encouraged? That's encouraged.
Yes, like I'm actually reading one right now, and it's, I went to go talk to a girl. She gave me, they always say that she looks at me in disgust, which is, I'm going to say, our perception is our reality. So if you already think this person's going to look at you in disgust, that person could smile and stick their tongue out, and you're going to go, well, that she's looking at me in disgust, which is a whole different section of my theory on inceldom. But it's, what should I do? How do I get past this? And the first 4 responses are kill yourself, go back and kill them, kill yourself, rape them.
Rape them, kill yourself. Wow. So they're all violent resolutions.
It's honestly, as Panda was saying earlier, there was a time when it was, listen, I'm just a lonely person. My dating pool is really small. Lonely people were trying to get together to find other lonely people. It wasn't really, in all honesty, until the Elliot Rodger killings in 2014 with his what they call the Black Pill Manifesto came out, which was basically saying that, women only want, alpha males. And if they're with someone that's not an alpha male, it's because they want their money, or, it's because they're fantasizing about alpha males while they're having sex with them. And, it's the 80-20 propaganda bullcrap, which is that 80% of all women want the top 20% of all men. So, yeah.
You want to know a weird fucking thing about Elliot Rodger? Like, I looked at that guy and I was like, so you're talking like this, but you are exactly what in high school I would have expected to be the guy who got all the girls.
Yeah, nice
like just
car,
by appearance.
rich dad.
I thought that was so strange because it was like he's whining how he can't get girls, and I'm like, well, there's only one thing because you look fine, so there's only one possible thing standing in your way, dude, and it's you.
And what it really boils down to, and this is going to sound really crass, and I apologize. It's that everything that incels blame women for is the exact effing thing they do themselves.
That's accurate.
You sit there and you go, well, what about this girl? She's only 2. She's really nice. She's fun to be around. She's this. Oh, she's a land whale. She's too fat. I shouldn't have to settle for fat. It's this delusion of grandeur that they've kind of schemed up because of their kind of self-loathing tendencies. They go, well, I'm superior. I'm this ultimate gentleman. I deserve to have, that 5'6", blonde with legs up to the sky and, giant boobs. I deserve to have this Playboy model. I shouldn't have to. And it's like, you say these things and then you'll hear them say these things. They're also the same guys that will go on Tinder or they'll go on like Plenty of Fish or, OkCupid, and they'll message a girl and say, hey, I think you're really cool. We should hang out. And the girl's like, hey, listen, I'm not really into you. And they clap back with, oh, well, you're a fat skank anyway. I just wanted to get my dick wet. And it's like, whoa.
Is it possible to get a read at all on the average age? It's probably pretty hard on these like anonymous forums, right?
They have actually on the incels.me board, they have kind of like a welcome thing where it's like meet the incels. I would say your average age is between 16 to 25.
That makes a lot of sense.
Oh.
Yeah. So these are guys that late bloomers in high school and, for whatever reasons, now all of a sudden it is just this, militant women are evil because I didn't get laid. I didn't get to experience young love. So the world is cold, and I hope everyone dies.
It's such a shitty attitude. I didn't get laid in high school either. Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Yeah, I was in college.
I didn't either.
The thing is, though, the time that they spend behind a keyboard and on these message boards, talking about this stuff, looking at this stuff, and complaining about this stuff, they could actually spend working on the one thing, like Logic said, keeping them from obtaining what they want, and that is working on themselves, working on their personality, getting out there, being social. What they're doing is they're setting themselves up by themselves in a room and surrounding themselves with people who have the same issue they do, which is the lack of self-awareness, the lack of social skills, or ability to just hold a regular conversation without, or take simple rejection without clapping back with the you're a land whale, or I'm just trying to get my dick wet, or I want to saw you in half. I mean, that's just not normal behavior.
I remember though being like in high school and being absolutely mad that because I thought like the reason that girls didn't like me or whatever was like I'm like fat, I'm ugly and whatever, and like they'll never like me. And it was like, no, looking back at me at that age and even into my 20s maybe, although I did get laid before then, but even so, I was just a shitty person, and I didn't bother to work on my social skills, and I didn't fucking know anything, and I was just a moron.
Yeah,
you have to recognize that in yourself and change it. That's the only way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
if you have personality, you can get laid.
Social skills are huge, like huge, massive, especially if you want to, if you're trying to meet somebody. Once you establish a relationship, it becomes easier to demonstrate social skills. But if you're in an environment where you have to strike up a conversation, that's significantly more difficult. And it's easier to take on a persona behind a keyboard, right? And I fear for these people. And I've reaped, holy oh my goodness, have I ever reaped the wrath of these people just merely for having the nerve to exist on the internet with my face. Like it's just wow. And what?
And
your face and my what? Oh yeah. I don't really have any control over that, though. That's no more in my control.
It's just sort of part of my body.
She got called a roasty, didn't you? They called you a roasty.
Oh, I got called a roasty.
What is a roasty?
Oh,
it
no.
is. We will get demonetized.